Blog Talk Radio, the world's largest online radio network.
Well, hello, Kristen. You with me on the show?
I am. I'm here, Dave, and here we are for the Be Legendary show. And, of course, we have our host extraordinaire, Dave Van Hoos, who is bringing you legends who are authors, speakers, coaches, and professionals out there making a huge, huge difference in the world today.
Well, I'm excited again for another Wednesday, and we've got a really exciting show with DeAnna, and she's somebody who really is an expert in really setting up relationships and monetizing relationships. And so we're going to bring her on here in a moment, and for those of you that are speakers or authors, a big part of your business should be relationship building in joint ventures. And that's a big way that me and Dustin built my ex-business, Foreclosures Daily, and how we build our business today, is working with other people. And one of the things I want you to consider is, in your business, who is your ideal prospect or client? And so you need to know who that person is. So for me and Dustin, we own Speaking Empire, so our ideal prospect is a speaker, an author, a CEO, somebody that wants to add speaking to their business. And so knowing who your ideal prospect is, then I ask the next question, who's got the list of these people, and how can I set up a relationship to joint venture with them? And so today we're going to talk a little bit about how to set up joint ventures, how we can monetize them, how you pay joint venture partners. So it's going to be an exciting call. And we brought DeAnna, who owns a company called AMG, and she works with a lot of the top speakers setting up joint ventures. So I want to dive down with her to find out, how can people set up more joint ventures, and what are some of the things that she sees that people are making mistakes on. So I'm excited. How about you, Kristen?
Oh, I think this is going to be such an amazing show, Dave. And, you really raised such an important point. I think as an entrepreneur out there, a lot of us are really more solopreneurs. We run our business, whether it's our speaking business, we're promoting our book, perhaps we have an online product, and we're sitting inside our home office, and we're wondering, how am I going to get this product, book, service out to more people? How can I let the world know about this transformational content that I've created so that I can, in the end, sell more products, sell more services, make that 6 and even 7-figure, windfall into my business? And you hit the nail on the head, Dave. That is, in fact, relationships. It is not only identifying who would love to hear the content that you have to offer, but then who already is having a conversation with those people. Because I really believe that we are in a relationship age, and that as we get out there and participate, not just through things like social media and LinkedIn, but also, being out there, meeting people face-to-face, especially through live events. I know that DeAnna Rogers, who we're bringing on in just a moment, is masterful at creating live events. And also, you too, Dave, with Speaking Empire, we have something coming up in October. And when you go and participate face-to-face with people and you make these powerful relationship connections, oftentimes that can be the big one major turning point in your entire business that takes you to that next level.
I agree. It's much easier. A lot of people out there, I guess, work harder, not smarter, and that's what the Be Legendary show is about working smarter, modeling success, talking to people that are really in the business doing it, and finding out the little different things that they're doing in their business so we can duplicate it in our business. And so DeAnna is somebody who is an expert. She owns a company called Affiliate Mastermind Group. She does 2 big events a year where she works with some of the top speakers, and she connects to joint ventures and helps them set up their webinars or connects them to stages. And it's a great strategy that everybody should be considering. It's much easier to find somebody who has a list of people that you want and do a joint venture with them than to go out and try to drive massive traffic, go on the open market to find these people, because marketing is very, very expensive, and it's much easier to, let's just say, borrow somebody else's marketing efforts and do a joint venture. So is DeAnna on with us?
I am. I'm here, Dave. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm excited.
DeAnna.
Hi, Kristen.
Well, I'm excited to have you on here, and I know you have a lot of experience, and the reason I brought you on this show is because a lot of authors, a lot of speakers are struggling in today. They don't know how to really launch their product to the world. And a great way, a strategy you're going to talk about today, is about using joint venture relationships. And so I want to dive down to really how do you set up a joint venture relationship? How much do you pay people? What are the 3 biggest mistakes that you see people do? And what is working today that didn't work yesterday? So just real quick, so tell me a little bit about why somebody should want to sign up joint ventures.
Well, thank you so much, Dave and Kristen, for having me on today's show. And guys, just so that you're aware, joint venture marketing, it can be a very powerful marketing strategy for your business. I mean, if you do it right, it will leverage your business tremendously. And it's helped many small business owners launch their internet business, real estate businesses, whatever business they're in, to become more successful by using joint ventures. And so, I've seen a lot of small little mom and pop business owners just improve their sales and profits within just a matter of days by using joint ventures. And I think a lot of people don't realize the power behind joint venture marketing. And so, with that being said, I mean, there are going to be things that you need to be aware of, that you need to be cautious of with them. But joint venture marketing is a huge component of creating your business and growing your business. And so if you don't mind, I'm going to tell you just a few things about joint ventures. And one of the things I want you to be aware of when we talk about joint ventures is that there are a few risks. The biggest risk of having a joint venture is that you could possibly fail. I mean, that's a fear that all of us have, correct, Dave? I mean, if you're right, nobody wants to fail. And so, it's the same thing with your business. It's the same thing with joint ventures. So you want to do your homework. You want to research your affiliate. You want to make sure they have good back-end support, that they have good customer service. You want to make sure that their products are shipping on time, whether they have a good return rate. You want to check. You want to even check and make sure they have good references, because again, you want to make sure that if you do a joint venture with somebody, that you are going to do it so well that they're going to spread the word in the community, and you will skyrocket. So, the goal with joint ventures is making sure that you have a good first impression, and you want to make sure that you're doing it correctly.
DeAnna, I want to just stop you for a second, because I think what you just said is so important, because when you do business with other people, that's part of what we're talking about today. Is when you're legendary, people are telling the story of their experience working with you, or the story of their experience of, the results that they got. And so that story, that legendary story, will spread like wildfire, whether it's a positive story or a negative story, right?
Right, absolutely.
So it is important that, as you're putting your business together, I think, and listening to our show today, to think about where can you shore up the pieces inside your own business? Where do you think there might be a loose end? Something so that you can also, not just you looking for partners out there that can help you, but where can you tighten up some of the fabric of your own company so that you are part of a big, big legendary success story?
And you're correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, DeAnna, let me ask you this question. Joint ventures is a big part, so let's just take an example. Let's just say somebody's an author or a speaker or even a CEO for a business. What would be, let's just say, if you can make it into like 5 steps, what would be the 5 steps to setting up a joint venture? And the key to this is setting up a joint venture and monetizing that joint venture, making money with that joint venture.
Well, first of all, you're going to want to do your research, like I said. You want to make sure that you're getting a good fit. So when you're looking around for a joint venture partner, you want to make sure that it's going to be someone that's going to be compatible with you. So, for example, if you're bringing them to your list, let's say you have a database or a product, and you want to be able to promote their product to your list, you want to make sure that their product is compatible to the people that would be viewing what you're promoting. The same thing goes out vice versa. You want to make sure that your product that you want to promote is going to be compatible to their list. You don't want to have somebody that is an author on, let's say, building houses that's going to a list that's for just internet marketing. They just don't work. So you want to make sure that whatever you're doing and whoever you're partnering with, that they are truly going to be someone that's going to work along with your product or with your business or with whatever it is that you are promoting. And so that's the first thing that I always tell people. Make sure that you're picking a good partner, because that's very key to making sure that you're giving credibility, because your database or your students or your clients, they're trusting you to bring them people and products that will benefit them. So that's key. And the second thing is basically you want to make sure that you have the back end ready, that you're ready to go. You're going to want to be able to come in and have everything ready. You want to have an affiliate package. So what I mean by that is you want to have you want to be able to have a back end support, like whether it's your website and you have an area for that. You want to make sure that you have easy step-by-step information for your affiliate to be. And then the next thing is you're going to want to start calling around. You're going to want to start introducing yourself to people. You're going to want to start talking to them, face-to-face, whether it's meeting them for lunch or whether you're walking into a business and meeting them, or whether you're just giving them a call and introducing yourself over the phone. But you want to get that very good impression with them, because it's so much easier to do business with friends. And if you make a friend with them, it's so much better for your relationship and for your joint venture. So that's another key to it. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to be able to go in there and be able to start picking out a date. Pick out a date, figure out when you want to do it, when's it going to be good for both of you, and set it up. And then you want to make sure that you're doing all the marketing to get to that so it is being successful. So those are the first couple steps. There's a ton of other steps, Dave and Kristen, but those are the first couple steps that I always focus on, is making sure I find the person, I do the research on them to make sure they're compatible, I go meet them or call them so that we have a one-on-one conversation, and that we get it, we get them booked into our calendar, and we get marketing for that. That's very important that you do all of that before you even get to the actual promotion of whatever your service or product is.
So, DeAnna, as the founder of the Affiliate Mastermind Group, I just love the idea that you've created this community for speakers and entrepreneurs to come together and really expand upon all those best practices and to build these relationships. So just to get really specific, can you give us an example or maybe a case study of someone who you believe is just a fantastic networker at building these joint venture affiliate relationships? Like how do they approach someone else? Give us a little sample of a script or something that you think that is helpful. I know you were talking about it's great with friends, but what if somebody's new as a speaker and they don't have as many relationships?
Well, I think, one of the things that we do at our AMG events is we try to break down that barrier. And, there's a lot of us that are out there that are walking around, whether you're going into businesses, whether you're going to a live event, whatever it is, you meet people every single day. And the key is to be always looking at how you can serve them. And I always tell people, when you're talking to people, and let's say they're a business owner, and they may have, let's say you're in real estate, we'll use that as an example, and you're in real estate as well, and you start talking and chatting. One of the first things you always do is, well, how can I support you? How can we work together that I can support you? And that's what I always tell people. How can I work with you? How can I support you? What can I do to help grow your business? And people are just flabbergasted by the fact that you are wanting to help them. And that is so key. And so I always tell people at events that when you're walking around, when you meet somebody, because a lot of times at events, let's say you go to a live event and you see name tags, and you see this person is from Austin, Texas. Well, if I live in Austin, Texas, I'm going to walk up to them and say, hi, my name is DeAnna. I live in Austin, Texas. What is your business? And then I'm going to talk with them a little bit. And let's say they're not in real estate. I'll say, well, that's great. Tell me a little bit about your business, because I might know some people that might be able to benefit you. So you're always giving back. It's not about you. It's about them. You're trying to make them feel comfortable. You're trying to make sure that you're able to support them. And, before you know it, they're telling you about their business. They're talking to you. And then if you cannot, let's say it's not compatible for me to do something with them, I would say, well, Joe, I may have maybe 5 or 6 people in my niche that I could refer over. So let me grab your card. Let's touch base next week. Let's have a phone call or a phone chat, and let's figure out how I can send some referrals over your way and grow your business. You're not asking for anything in return. And by doing that, that person is going to refer you to everyone they know because they're like, wow, this person's a true team player. And I've always told people, if you're willing to help support other people, it'll come back tenfold. So that's my key is always looking for people that you can be supportive of. How can you help support them?
You know, DeAnna, why do you think it's so important for people to actually go and physically meet face-to-face in these live events?
Well, because I believe there's so much that you don't know over the phone. There's so much that you know, if you're a good reader, it's good to see somebody. It's good to have someone face-to-face, be able to sit down and talk to them, get in their element, understand what they're doing, see their passion in their face. I always look to see if they have a passion about their business. If they don't have a passion about their business, I don't want to do business with them. You know, and so when you talk to somebody, like, it's kind of like when someone gets a new baby. You know how their face just lights up and they've just got a glow about them. Well, when people are passionate about their business, they have a glow about them, and they're excited to talk to you. They're excited to share with you their business. And to me, that's what I'm looking for. I don't care if they have a huge million database list. If they are enthusiastic about their product and their service and their business, I would want to work with them. And so a lot of the time, me meeting them face-to-face, I like to read them. I like to see what they're doing. I like to see how they're presenting themselves. How are they, what are they able to tell me about their product? A lot of times on the phone, you don't get into that as much as you would face-to-face. Maybe just walking up and saying, hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee. I'd like to learn more about you. You know, that is so key in just getting to know that person, and you can tell within 5 minutes whether or not that person is someone that you want to legitimately work with. And that's why I like going to these events and, you know, meeting people face-to-face.
Hey, DeAnna, let me ask you this next question. You said something which was your step 4, which is set up to make it easy for people to joint venture with you, and that's something my partner Dustin does. And what I mean by that is on your website or a membership area or someplace online, giving the joint venture the emails, the bio, the information. Tell us a little bit about how people can set up to make it easier for people to joint venture.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, we all have that little lazy side of us, or that just the fact that we're just too busy that we don't want to deal with it. And so the easier that you make it, the more that your affiliate will be willing to promote you. You know, if you get an email and it says, do these next 20 steps and then please promote me, how many people are really going to want to do that? You know, but if someone sent me an email and said, here's your affiliate login, your emails are done for you, all you have to do, your links are done, all you got to do is just copy, paste, and send, and you're done, I'm all over that. And it's easy. It takes me less than 5 minutes, and I'm willing to do it. So, you know, I know how I am personally, and so I try to do that for all of my clients. I go in there. I've created a website, and on my website is this particular page that is my affiliate page, and you can do this with whatever business that you're in.
So hold on. So first thing, you create an affiliate page. So everybody should have,
correct.
If you're a speaker, author, you should have an affiliate page. And
right.
What are the things
on your
that
website.
are on the affiliate page?
So on your affiliate page, you're going to want to have like maybe sample emails. So if you are running a business, let's say it's internet marketing business, you're going to want to have 5 or 6 emails in regards to promoting your business. So you want to have an email campaign. That's important. You want to have those done for you, ready to go. All they have to do is copy and paste. So that's the first thing that should be on there. You should also have a bio and picture of you and your business. They should be able to know who you are. Have those things easily accessible for them so they can promote you with your bio, your picture, your company logo, whatever it is that you want to give them to promote for you. So that should be on there. You know, you should also have, you know, a sign-up page so they can go into your system, whatever you're using for your system to track for affiliate links. You should have a page or a link there so they can sign up to go into your database and become an affiliate. That's so key, guys. You really need to do that. You know, whether you're using Infusionsoft or One Shopping Cart or whatever program that you're using, you should have a little blurb down there or a little button or something that says sign up here to be an affiliate. because you want to make sure that they're signed up in your affiliate center so that all of their sales are being tracked. So
let me ask you this question, because I think there's a lot of people on the show, and they ask us, and I just want to kind of just go over the basics. So software. So there's a couple different softwares you can do that manage what you just talked about. And I want to ask you, if somebody's just starting, let's just say they have a very small database, what software should they use? What software should a mid-tier person use? And what software should, like, the top people use? And
I really have two. I can only give you two because it's only two that I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of them out there. There's only two that I would use. So the beginners, I would use maybe one shopping cart. It's very cheap. Right. It's very inexpensive. It does everything that you need. It will track affiliates. It will track your sales. It will create a database for you, like a database management, so you can put your leads in there. So it's a very, very good little tool, and to have if you're small and you're just wanting to get started and you're just wanting to to get off and running quickly. That's what I would suggest. Once you get past that point where you're running pretty strong, I'm a big fan of Infusionsoft, and it's kind of scary at first because it's big, but I got to tell you, it's amazing. I love it.
I love that too, DeAnna.
Yes, yeah. I love it. It just makes my job so easy.
I got to tell you, it makes my job easy too. I've never even logged on, and I've had it for 8 years. Luckily, I have my partner Dustin and our team that run our Infusion account.
Well, and let me just throw this in too as well, Dave. If you don't know, like for example, if you're someone like Dave that doesn't ever touch Infusionsoft, here's the wonderful part. I don't either, Dave and Kristen. I have a VA that does that. So I actually hired a VA. Yeah, and that VA does it all for me. So
that's
literally,
awesome. You've actually found a VA to run your infusions.
Yeah, me too.
So that's a good strategy for a lot of speakers, and I just want to kind of stop there because a lot of people I talk to, they have a business and they have problems. They say, "Oh, I solved it. I bought Infusion." Like that's their problem solver. Well, first of all, that's not a problem solver. That's actually going to create a ton more problem because Infusion is a very complex system that literally, if you're a speaker, you should never log into Infusion. That's not the highest and best use of your time.
I got to tell you, I got to disagree because Infusionsoft actually has done a lot of upgrades. You and I met at InfusionCon out in Phoenix, and they have done a lot of upgrades. And I think its new campaign builder, I mean, not to geek out on the show, but I think the new campaign builder is actually easier than ever to use.
But my point is this, is the highest and best use of the time for a speaker is doing three things. One, speaking on stages that you're going to make the most money. Two, setting up your joint venture relationships. And three, doing webinars. That is the things you should be focusing on. I don't want speakers to be spending 80% of their time logging into Infusion and that. No, we really want you to focus to get your brand out there. And that's one of the big things is. And so I got this next question for you, DeAnna.
Hey, Dave.
And this is a big challenge a lot of people are having. If you get a joint venture partner and they're going to do a joint venture for you, what do some of them don't promote. So if you can share a couple cool strategies maybe to get people to promote.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Give me an example of what you're asking. I apologize.
Well, like we've got a big event coming up. We've got over 35 different joint ventures promoting the event. So a lot of different people. And I'm personally friends with a lot of them, and I have great relationships with all of them. And about 50% of them are not promoting. So and it's probably a challenge for a lot of people. And so what are some things that you've seen that have worked to get people to promote?
Well, I mean, you need to make it fun. I mean, here's the thing is all business owners and speakers have egos. We all know that. We all agree it's an ego thing. And so what I always found is have a competition. A friendly little competition is fantastic. If you can make a competition out of it and say there's a prize for the one that promotes it the best or whatever, it could be whatever. I mean, it's really funny. I was on a launch a year or two ago, I guess it was, and the prize was a car. And it was really funny because everybody worked so hard on this launch. And then what it was is it was a car mouse. It was a mouse, a computer mouse in the shape of a car. So nobody cared. It was the fact that you won, and that was the point. It's not about necessarily the prize as much as it is of the ego of, I won this, and so therefore I'm the king of promoting. So, with speakers and business owners out there, the key is to elevate them to a status. If they are promoting you, elevate them. Give them kudos. Maybe even do like a weekly email blast out of, guess what, here's the running of who's promoting us this week. Look who's ahead. You guys don't be letting so-and-so beat you. You guys need to be promoting. Make it fun. Make it exciting, because they love that. Nobody wants to be outdone by another speaker. So they're all going to be competitive because they want to win. So that's always what I've tried to think of it as, is let's just make it a game. Don't make it work. Let's make it fun. And by doing that, it's so refreshing, and people love it, and they're much more willing to work harder for you because they're having fun with it.
I love that about you. You're just the way you play, and life is a game. And you're true. You're right. You make it fun. Let me ask you this next question, because I think we can really learn from other people's mistakes. And so, DeAnna, what are the 3 biggest mistakes or things that you've seen happen in the last 3 months that we can learn from?
Oh, that's a tough one, dude.
Hey, DeAnna, I'm going to give you a little bit of time to think about that, because we need to take just a really quick break, and when we come back, then you'll be able to give us some of the big mistakes and things to avoid.
Fantastic.
And to all of you, you're listening to the Be Legendary Show, and I'm your host, KRISTEN White, and Dave Van Hoos as well, yes. And if you want to call in, I want to give you that call-in number. It's 646-929-2228. Again, that call-in number is 646-929-2228. And call in, and I'm sure that DeAnna, with all of her wisdom and expertise, will answer your questions. And I'm your host, KRISTEN White, with my co-host, Dave Van Hoos. And today we're talking to DeAnna Rogers. She is the founder of the Affiliate Mastermind Group. And we were just talking, DeAnna, during the break about some of the things you absolutely must avoid, some of the mistakes. Kind of help us navigate all of those obstacles that could be a real setback for our business.
Oh, fantastic! And I was just trying to think of a couple things, and I kind of pointed to one earlier, and I really want to make sure that I stress this one is one of the biggest mistakes that I see is that people aren't doing their research before they do a cross promotion, and I mentioned that earlier, but it's so key. You got to make sure that what you're promoting is an ethical business or product. I mean, I'm really big on making sure that everything is ethical and honest. So, if I'm looking at someone's product, and let's say I met them at an event last month, and I really liked them, they were really nice, and I agreed to do a promotion for them, but that's all good. You still got to do your research. Make sure that person, it's easy. With internet today, you can do so much research, but make sure that person doesn't have a lot of bad negative feedback on the internet, because, you are going to be promoting them to your clients. And so you want to make sure that whoever you are promoting is someone that you can trust and that's ethical and that's doing business the right way. So I always stress, please, please, please do your research before doing a cross promotion with anybody. I don't care who they are, but do your homework. And the second one that I kind of think is a big mistake is not promoting correctly with your database. And what I mean by that is I'm on almost everyone's email blast, so I get tons and tons of emails all the time, and I see how these speakers and business owners out there are just promoting, and they're blasting, but they're not giving content. And guys, this is so key to this, is the fact that people are glued to you and believe in you and become your clients because they want education. Whether it's a product that you have, they want to learn more about that product. Whether you're a speaker, they want to learn more about what you're speaking on. But they want content. They want to learn from you. So what I started doing this past year, which I just have found has been fantastic, and I'm going to share with you so you'll all steal my idea, but this is what I've been doing. Anytime I'm doing a webinar, let's say I'm doing 4 webinars in the month of September. Well, what I do is I take those 4 webinars, and in the month of August, I've recorded a content webinar with that same person, and I blast it out to my list beforehand. So my clients are getting a pure content webinar or phone call or whatever before I ever promote them with a sale, ever, because I want them to know that I care enough about them to give them content and to teach them, because if we teach them and we're giving them content, they'll trust me when I'm trying to sell them something.
You know, DeAnna, I love what you're talking about there, because I think it's so important to be a generous messenger. I mean, if all we're doing is saying, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, eventually, no matter how much our list loves us, they just get turned off.
Exactly, and you're going to burn your list. And so no matter how hard you work to build the list, Kristen, you're right, you're going to burn that list because they're going to see you as all you're doing is just being a simple promoter. You're not really being the business owner or teacher or speaker that they really came to follow. So I've always said, please try to realize that if you were the student, what would you want? So make sure that you're giving content. Make sure that you're, whether you're doing a newsletter or whatever it is that it is that your niche is that you're doing, make sure that you're giving them information a lot more than you are promoting. That's key.
You know, DeAnna, that's such a good idea about the content, sending it out pre-recorded ahead of time. Will you break that down for us just a little bit more? I mean, how is that different than, the webinar that has the offer with the, 15-minute offer at the end? What do you put? Is the content recording, is it 30 minutes long, 15 minutes long? Is it one teaching lesson? Kind of break that down for us a little bit so that we can start to, use this. What a great tool.
Absolutely. Like for example, I did a webinar with my database last night, actually, and it was on building your business credit. And so, but what I did last month is I met with this person, and a webinar is typically about 60 minutes, and it's 90% content and then 10% sell. But you know how it is with all of these speakers and business owners and webinars. Typically, even though it's 90% content, it's really kind of leading up to the sale. And so I kind of have an issue with that. I want it to be more content. So I always call that person and say, hey, Mr. Joe, I want to meet with you. Let's get on can you do one of two things? And I ask them what they can do for me. Can you either, provide me a 30-minute pure content webinar or a 30 to 45-minute content call with me? And we're going to do this a month before we promote you. And so what I do is whether you use a conference call line if they want to call, then what I do is I do an interview process. I'll call Mr. Joe. We set up a time to record it, and I interview him. I ask him about how he got in the business. What is he doing? How did he get there? Why is he so successful? And then I break it kind of down into, what kind of programs are you using out there right now? And I interview him as an interview-type process to where it's all about him and building him up and building his credibility. And then we even have, I'll have made up maybe 10 questions that I find that I want to ask him, and I'll ask him those questions. And I put him kind of in the hot seat. We always say it's kind of like in the hot seat with them. And it's great because it's just chatter back and forth. It's real. It's not scripted. And the students love that. And so then what I do is, because I've recorded it, then I send that out in an email blast and say, hey guys, I really have a really great friend that I want to share with you, pure content only, and listen to what we had to say in this week's content call. And because my students get a content call every week, they know this is this week's content call. And so then they get on, they listen to Joe over there, and they're like, wow, he's great. So next month when I'm promoting his product or his webinar, I'll say, remember everyone, when you heard Joe on last month's content call, we are so excited to have the second part where he's going to be able to share his product and information with you. We look forward to having you on this week's webinar. And so it just builds up the excitement. They've already heard him. They've already had pure content, and now they're ready to listen further and get more in depth. They're in tune and ready, and most of the time, 90% of those people on the webinar now are serious wanting to buy it because they already know more about him.
That's
Your
what I was
sales
going
will
to ask
skyrocket.
you. Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you is what kind of results have you gotten from just adding this? I mean, it may seem like it's more work, but it's so intelligent. I love that.
Right. Yeah, it's creating so much more because they're realizing what they're getting. They're realizing that you're trying to give content, and then they're realizing that person's really a real business person, not just someone just promoting a webinar. And so that's really, really important. And so that's what I try to do. And so that's kind of the key of what we do. And our students know that, and they love that.
So, DeAnna, let me share a story with you. So a lot of people probably on the show are hearing the fact, hey, joint ventures are good. I don't have a list, because a big part is if you're new, you don't have a list, and a lot of people want reciprocation. And so this is a great strategy. I'll give you a story. I had some guys that wanted to be speakers about a year ago, and they were in the real estate. They were actually realtors, and they wanted to teach other realtors, but they didn't have a list. And so what I told them to do is the same strategy. I said, go out to all these list owners and don't say, hey, can I sell some stuff to your list? Hey, can I sell some stuff? Say, hey, I would love to give some great new strategies of what's working today in short sales or in real estate. And, of course, the promoter said yes. So they did a great presentation giving lots of value, going over all proven strategies that work today. Now, after he did it, the gentleman who had the list, his people loved it, and I told him, I said, go back the next week and say, hey, by the way, your people love the second one, and out in the second one, I can offer up something if that would be okay with you. And what happened was, the guy did it, they did the presentation, they converted 100 sales, and the word got out that this presentation converted. Now, they got on everybody's webinars because a big part of it's about conversion. But the people didn't know the whole story. The whole story is they built content first, and then they did their selling one. But nobody heard the story. They just heard, oh, my gosh, they did one webinar and made $100,000. So that is a great strategy to do, especially if you're a newbie, is start doing webinars and giving content first and then asking to sell. Let me ask you this next question. A lot of people are trying to get on more stages and they want to speak on more stages because it's a big way they're getting customers. What are a couple strategies that you've seen that are working to help get people on stages?
As far as just getting them on stages or on webinars too? What do you mean by just the stages, like live stages?
Yeah, let's start with live stages.
Well, I mean, I'm a firm believer in earning your way there. So a lot of the times I will, in order to get on my stage, you have to do a webinar. I want to see that you're going to be compatible with our clients. So that is the first thing that I do. But if I'm out there representing somebody and I think that they're going to be a great fit, I jump on the call and I explain to them. I mean, I'll be like, this is a great fit. I usually do like a little mini video, or I'll send a copy of the webinar, and I do my research. I'll send it over there and go, listen, this Billy Joe over here, he's got a fantastic product. I believe he's going to be great on your stage. He's selling very well on webinars. Just imagine what he would be like in front of your audience. Just imagine what you can do, and it's basically just creating. You're creating a relationship with that person. You got to realize that when you're calling people, it can't be like a sales call. You've got to call them and you've got to get personal with them, and you've got to realize that you're sharing information with them that's going to help them make money. And if they know that you're there to help them make money, they're going to respect you. And so usually when I call people, they know DeAnna is respecting me enough that she's wanting the best for us. She's only going to refer the best of the best for us on our stages. So they know that. So it is truly building a reputation. You do have to build a reputation with people. But you also need to do your homework. That's
important, I think, what you said, DeAnna, is most people are into quick and they don't create long-term business. And that's something that, you got to start getting that mindset. Hey, who are the people that I can work relationships, not just do one stage with or one joint venture with, but I can do a 3 and a 5 year relationship, and start taking that mindset and also talk to these people. Listen, I want to do some business with you, joint venture with you, and I want to create like a 3 to 5 year plan. And that's something me and Dustin just with Infusion. We've been working with them for many years. We finally talked to Ted over there, and we sat down and listen, we've spoken on our stage, we've done some webinars back and forth. I want to create a 3 and a 5 year really good strategic relationship. And they came back and we created a great relationship where literally a whole bunch of great things that opened up now because we've got a 3 year partnership.
and not just come on and do a webinar and leave. So that was a great strategy we used. The other thing, too, if you're trying to get on more stages, which is probably a lot of the speakers and authors, the best way to get on more stages is to create your own stage. I know probably a lot of you don't like that thing, but it's truth. You know, if you create your own stage, your own stages, you can bring other speakers to your event, and then they'll reciprocate to get on their stage. So that's a great strategy that we use.
You know, Dave, I want to add to what you just said, because I think that it's just so important. Is that, you know, we all hear about the value of a lifetime customer, you know, and how it's more than just the one sale. I think that also extends into the value of, you know, a lifetime or a long-term strategic business relationship. You know, if we're always just looking for that next webinar that we can do the next month and we just kind of, you know, hop from one thing to the next, oftentimes the first thing you do with someone in business is only a small taste, kind of like that little pink spoon that you get at Baskin-Robbins where you try all the different ice cream. You know, it's just a little taste, and there's so much more that can develop when you have a longer-term view on the relationship with someone that you're actually doing business with. So I just wanted to take a moment to say, you know, I really agree with that approach. And DeAnna, have you found that you also get a lot of value out of long-term, longer than just one webinar business relationships?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm just going to tell you this because it's really funny. I always tell people I don't want to date you, I want to marry you. And It's really funny because, you know, and they always laugh, and it's always funny, you know, because I'm like, you know, I don't want to date you. I don't want to do a one-time webinar. I want to be married. I want to have a stable relationship with you. And
you want to be a polygamist. No.
You know what I find?
We just got to tell our guy speakers not to go to other guy speakers and say that one.
That's right.
Be very careful.
What was that show? Big Love.
That's right. You know, but what I did find, and this is one of the things I have found in the last couple of years, which has really been fun to kind of, I'd almost like to go back and measure it and just see where it went, but it's been really fun because when you have a long-term relationship with someone, they refer you. And your pipeline gets so much bigger because of the fact that they respect you and they love working with you, and because they trust you, they refer you to everyone. It's really funny. I mean, Dave and Dustin refer people to me all the time. I refer people to them all the time. And it's because of the fact that I trust them. And so, you know, it's funny because over the last couple of years, my pipeline has grown so big only because I have valued the few people that I started with, and I chose those few people that I wanted to begin with, and I developed a very strong relationship with them, which meant that I spent time with them. I nurtured that relationship. I made sure that I was doing right by them. Even if it cost you, you'd always do right by the affiliate, always. And by doing so, you have created a relationship that is truly going to pay tenfold because that one person is going to be so happy, they're going to go talk to 10 other people, and they're going to refer you. And before you know it, you've got those other 10 people contacting you. You know, those 10 will contact 10. And before you know it, being good to one person can lead you to 1,000 referrals.
It is. It's a strategic multiplier, no doubt.
It is. It is. And so you have to always be doing what's right for the people that you're doing business with, because that is the key, is you know, creating that marriage, creating that long-time relationship that, you know what, that I know that in 5, 6, 7 years, I could still call Dave and Dustin and go, hey, let's do a webinar. I know that because I trust them, and I know they're still going to be around. I know that they're going to still be ethical and honest, and they're still going to have their products there that are truly doing what they say they're going to do. So it's very important that you surround yourself with people that will be like that. If you see people out there that are just doing one-time little webinars all over the place, walk away. That's not who you want to be with. You want to be with people that you can count on, that are going to be in your corner fighting for you and referring you. That's who you want to surround yourself with.
Let me ask you this. I think something very important, too, that some people might not know is Pareto's principle, that 20 rule. And great marketers know that 20% of your prospects will do 80% of your business. But when you watch launches or people in this industry, it's very similar. It's actually not the 80% rule, it's the 4% rule. That 4% of the people, you can literally probably do about 90% of your business to get on the top guy. So if you ever watch a product launch, you'll see that 2 or 3 people in the launch out to everybody combined. So what I have is what they call a power of 5. You only need 5 relationships key relationships to make $1 million in today's world. And we've got 5 key relationships me and Dustin have each year. These are our 5 that we focus on, that we do joint venture events with, we do big things with, and every time we do that, we at least make $1 million with those easy 5 relationships. So that's something to consider. Is I want to give people some homework. Think about, take a paper out, take a pen out, think about who are the 5 key joint venture partners, your 5 power team that you want. Write those down, get very focused on that, and then figure out how we can build a relationship with them. In Dustin, we have our Power 5. Some of them we don't even know the list, and so Dustin will direct mail them. I'll call somebody that might know them. So we'll go after and find out where this person's at, maybe go to their seminar or even join their mastermind. One of our Power of 5 was Dan Kennedy and Bill Glazer. They have a big organization. We wanted me to speak on their big stage. And so we knew that. We talked to them. We direct mailed them. We got to know them. And it took literally a year, 2 years. We joined their mastermind. And then finally, in November, I'm speaking on their stage, which has about 800 people to 3,000 people. So thinking about who's your Power 3. Now, one of the things I want to kind of talk about, DeAnna, I know we've got our big event coming up, 1st to the 4th. Everybody should be there. And I know, DeAnna, you're doing a big joint venture party, a networking thing. So what makes the joint venture party networking that you're going to be doing in our event compared to all different events?
Well, I mean, I think what's important is that we want to surround ourselves with other like-minded people, and when we're there and we're connecting, we're truly connecting. And so, when we get together and have parties or have these events at other people's events, like, for example, we're going to be at your event and we're trying to get everybody together, we're encouraging them all to come, it's so that we can get to know each other and have a good time and share our resources and put each other on the books right then and there. If you've been to any one of our events, Dave and Dustin will tell you that, man, I'm a firm believer in do not leave unless your books are filled. I'll stop you in the hallway and go, dude, did you book it? Because it's so easy to pass out a business card, but it's so much better to book your event right then and there. Make that connection right then and there.
Let's talk about that a lot, because you're right. So I don't want you coming to the joint venture, Marty, getting a whole bunch of relationships. So bring your book. Let's talk a little bit about that. That's important. How this party you're going to be booking out, and you talked about how long should people be booking out their schedule, and when they come to these events, how do they book out? Let's dive down into that.
Okay, so let's break this down. If you're a newbie and you've never done this, or let's say you're trying something new, what I always do is I look at my calendar, and before you go to an event, you look at your calendar, whether it's a paper calendar or whether it's on your Google Calendar, whatever it is, and you go through and you look at what is it that I want to do with my list. So, for example, on my list, I personally only want to I want to sell a webinar to my list every other week, because I don't want to overexpose my list. And then every other week between that is just a pure content webinar, and then every single week I have a content call. So what I've done is I've color-coded in my calendar, like, for example, a green every Monday is a content call. So I've got little green spots available. And then, for example, every Tuesday night, every other Tuesday night is either a purple or blue. Purple means that I'm doing a webinar to somebody else's list. Blue means I'm doing it to my list. And so I kind of get a feel of what it is that I want to project and what I want to do. I get my calendar ready. I'm all colored ready, because I'm a big color person. I don't know what you guys are, but, man, if I don't see colors, I'm flipping. And maybe it's the OCD in me.
I was going to tell you,
rainbow calendar.
Monday shouldn't be green. Green's money day. So on every other that you're doing, the green should be on now. But I think that is a really, really good way to look at your list. You just kind of gave over your strategy.
I did. And here, let me tell you something real quick, though, David, because when you go to an event, and let's say you pull up your iPad or your laptop, and I have some blank greens, or I have some blank, purple or blue areas, I'm like, dude, I can put you in right here. And I know right then and there where my empty spots are. And I always book out 6 to 12 months, always. I don't want to have to be working.
Months.
Yeah, we do too.
Here.
We do too, yeah, because I think having that marketing calendar, having that plan is part of that longer-term vision, is having opportunities where people can plug in and participate. Because, you've been in business for many, many years, Dave. You've been in business for many, many years. I've been doing this for several years. It's important to have a much longer range vision and plan where people can just plug right in. It makes your life easier. You're not waking up every morning saying, oh, what am I going to market today?
Right. Well, for me, it's pure selfishness. I simply don't want to be working. I want to work smarter and not harder. Right. And so if I can go to an event, and let's say I'm going to Dave and Dustin's event, in a month or so, and I'm going to take my calendar and because I'm already booked up till January, I'm going to book out from January to June, and I'm going to go to Dustin and Dave's event, and I'm going to book it for the next 6 months. Because I'm going to have my colors ready, and I'm going to be ready to go. So when I'm there, I'm looking for people to put in my calendar. So it's very big that you have a visual, that you know what you're looking for, and that you act on it. I mean, don't just grab a business card. Act on it. Fill that calendar up. Book them right then and there. And whether or not you make it final, if you just want to make it tentative while you're doing the research, that's fine, but make a commitment. Put Joe Smo in there and say, well, you know what, I'm going to put you in February 12th, and I'm going to call you next week, and we're going to confirm everything and make it happen.
We're going to
make a commitment.
We're going to call this DeAnna's Rainbow Marketing Plan.
Yeah. The other
right.
thing is, and if you're a speaker like myself, they should bring their joint venture manager or their organized person, because that's the key things is a big part of your business is got to be relationships and JVs, and that's really why we've got DeAnna on here. It's easier to go find a joint venture and make some money today than try to build your whole, marketing strategy. Take you a couple of years. And so the big event we've got, a lot of you, the buzz, October 1st to the 4th. I want to kind of tell you who some of the people are going to be there and the opportunity that DeAnna's going to be running our big networking event there to help you guys build out your calendars. She's going to be doing a presentation going over in detail about how to book out your calendar for 6 months and how to put that together. So I'm very excited to have her there for that. We've got some big people. We've got Tony Robbins' son, Jarek Robbins, is going to be there. I talked to Mike Koenig. He's going to stop by. We talked to a whole bunch of the top speakers. We've had people like John Azarel, Brian Tracy, Evan Harrington. So it's very hard to get a hold of some of these top speakers, and the best way to do them is when they're at these events, to sit down with them, bring your calendar, bring your joint venture manager. I know the last event we did, DeAnna, we had over 38 joint venture managers coming back to get off these stages lined up. So I just want to ask you this question. Do you hire a joint venture manager or do you outsource it?
You know what? I will tell you how I personally feel, and then it just depends. Yes. If you have a personal joint venture manager, absolutely, and you want to take them to all these events. You can also go through companies like ours. We have my partner Sheila and I and Dave and Dustin. We all have a company called JV Agency. We also help do that. That is an actual fantastic way of doing it as well. You should never go to one of these events without having someone there to represent you, whether you're using a JV agency like ourselves or whether you have a personal JV manager, but you need someone. It's very vital that you have someone in your corner working to make those joint ventures happen. And so, I personally believe that every speaker should have someone in their corner. And so, it's very important that you take that person with you, or that person is representing, or that whatever it is, but making sure that you have, I just like to always say it's kind of like the neck on a head. You got to have that person helping support you. So whatever it is, but yes, I truly believe you do need a manager, someone that's going to be in your corner, helping you get those, joint ventures, and basically leading off. When you're a speaker and you're meeting someone, once you meet and greet and you say, hey, I want to put you on the calendar, hand them off to that joint venture coordinator. Or if you have someone like us with a joint venture, with a JV agency, hand them off to us and we'll handle that. But yes, absolutely, you need someone in your corner. Absolutely.
DeAnna, what a great point and a reminder. And believe it or not, we're actually out of time today for the Be Legendary show. So I just want to thank you so much for being with us. And how can people learn more about, the Affiliate Mastermind Group and also this wonderful agency that you just mentioned, the JV agency? Where can they go to learn more about you, DeAnna?
Well, they can go to my partner and I, Sheila. We have a website called affiliatemastermindgroup.com. And they can find out all the information on our company and what we do. And we'll also be posting information on there up about the JV agency. You can also email me directly at Am I able to give out my email? Just want to make sure before I.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
It's JV with DeAnna, so it's JVWITHDEANNA @gmail.com, and one of us will get back with you personally, and we will talk to you and see how we can work with you further.
Yeah, DeAnna, you have just given us an incredible amount of valuable content today. I can tell that you really, walk your talk, and so thank you so much for your time and being here with the Be Legendary show. And I know Dave and I, really enjoy hosting the show. We've had incredible turnout. I mean, this is only our second show, and already, messages from around the globe, thousands of listeners. So it's really exciting to be part of a dynamic, growing platform to have this conversation to help. There's so many people out there that are, really, either getting started as a speaker, an entrepreneur, an author, or wanting to move into that arena. And there's a lot of little things that you have to work out. And so when people like you come on it and share your wisdom step by step, it's so powerful and so generous. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me, both of you. It's been fun today. I appreciate it.
Well, absolutely. I can't wait to see you in October in California.
Absolutely. I hope everyone that's on today's call will be there as well. I know Sheila and myself look forward to working with each and every one of you.
Yeah, and to all of you listening, the Be Legendary event is October 1st through the 4th, and I know, Dave, that tickets they're almost sold out. We've had such a huge demand. So where can people go to register to be part of the Be Legendary experience in Irvine, California that first week of October?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been promoting this, and we've got speakers coming. I just talked to a guy from Holland. We got people coming from Australia, from all across the country that are coming. And one of the big part is to learn the tools and strategies for their business. But a huge thing they're coming is the joint venture because of that big joint venture party. And one of the things I would challenge you to do is to get to the event. I challenge you to get out of your business and to work on your business, not in your business, and to work smarter, not harder. Come to the event and think about this. You're only one deal away, one JV away from making $1 million. So come to the event.
Absolutely.
Make a couple JVs, make $50,000, $100,000 by setting up your calendars to do joint ventures. And I'm excited. I'm really honored because the people that are coming to the event is the who's, all the top people come to our events because, me and Dustin work with a lot of the top speakers, authors, and entrepreneurs in the world. So it's off the chart. I'm excited.
All right. And that's our show for
so
today. We're out of time. So thank you, everyone, for joining us, and thank you, Dave and DeAnna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone. See you next
Bye-bye
week.
now.
Bye-bye.
Blog Talk Radio, where millions of hosts and listeners gather.